Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Got a call from spam caller, and guess what? I go and hit decline, and wouldn't you know it, it decides to tell me, okay, well, I'll just kill the whole show. Like, what the hell? This ain't supposed to happen. But yeah, it just decided to hammer it out and slam it shut. Oh, and now I'm having to try and get back to everything I'm supposed to be doing. What are we doing? We're going with temporary mute. Yes, let's go with 2 hours. That's how much time I got left. Sorry about that, everyone. Anyhow, yeah. I really love it when a plan comes together, except for it doesn't. So, yeah, here we go. What do we put in here? Yeah, sure, why not? Howdy, welcome back. Sorry about the issue there. I'm not exactly certain what happened. I went to decline a call from spam. I guess YouTube booted me off. It's probably them. Howdy, Patrick Grant. Great to see you, sir. So anyways, let's see, where was I? For anybody who caught the first part of the tailgate and isn't here now, I'll do a real quick recap. 2004-ish, I was up and down the East Coast. Some into 2005 also. And it lasted well into 2006. There's Steve and Miss Kathy. Howdy and hello. Great to see y'all coming back in. Sorry about the stream deciding to bounce on me. Not my fault, is my problem. Yeah, damn spam callers. So when I was up and down the East Coast, it was after Allison, before Superstorm Sandy, and I got up to one place up in Pennsylvania, and there was a week in there where it was raining somewhere near Boston or New England, somewhere or other, and it had dropped 12 whole inches and in a week. Remember, 12 inches in a week. And they were, oh my God, in horrible flood conditions. Nobody's ever seen it rain this much. And I remember asking people, what are y'all going to do when it really starts raining? At the time, my question revolved around my experiences from Allison, which was, like I said, 21 days of rain, and the middle 14 days were at least 24 inches a day. You can Google it, verify it. I don't care. I know what happened. Flooded the city of Houston out. I'll tell some stories about it. Interesting stories. But there were people up and down the East Coast that were swearing to me, it can't rain that much. It's not possible. Well, I lived through it, so I knew it could rain that much. I lived through Harvey, so I knew it can actually rain quite a bit more than that. I've also crossed my street right here in water that's crotch deep without it being inside my house. I've seen it really rain to levels that would have blown their mind. And I was asking the honest question, if 12 inches in 7 days will cause this much flooding. Howdy, Matthew. Great to see you, sir. Ashton half Corona cigarillos. Recovering know-it-all. I like the senoritas better than I like the half Corona. Or maybe they're the senoras. All I can tell you right now is if you're inside of JR Cigar and you type in the code ASSEN, it will take you right to them. Well, Steve, see, I agree with you. It can rain 40 days and 40 nights. And howdy, Horatio. Great to see you, sir. Okay, so you like the half Coronas better. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your particular palate agreeing with you. Whereas my particular palate agrees with me. But that's neither one of us is wrong. I just didn't know if you had tried the senoritas. But yeah, Ashton makes a fine cigar. I wish they would make their little cigarillos in the VSG, which is the Virgin Sun Grown, because that would be top notch for Ashton. Oh, still working. All right. RKIA, you be careful at work. Remember, always be careful at work. But glad you could check in. Believe me, if it's really boring at work, I even get to check in. Got to check in on the Nashville Mafia just recently because of that. Woo! We had 3 whole customers in the last 3 hours of the day. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So back to what I was saying about rain. I just really wanted to know what people really were going to do if 12 inches in 7 days caused major flooding. What were they really going to do when Mother Nature decided to lay the pimp hand down and put something on them like Superstorm Sandy? I tried to get people to think about that well in advance, not because I was trying to be mean. I mean, I might have come off as mean. Had nothing to do with that. It was more about telling Mother Nature that she can't do something, pretty soon her reply is, hold my beer. I mean, I don't want to see people lose their lives because other people thought. That will never happen. For an example, the hospital system in Houston, one of the best systems in the world, trust me on that one. Huge. Specialized hospitals everywhere. With like a one type of surgery specialization for the whole hospital. It's ridiculous crazy. But if you have to come to a hospital because you are screwed if you don't get to the best, chances are they're sending you to Houston in some way, shape, or form. There's 2 or 3 not in Houston that, okay, you might be going there for various different reasons, but for the most part, hey, you're a senator, you get shot in the head, we're going to take you to Houston. Happened. It's also been in the news. I forget if it was New Mexico or Arizona, but that lady came straight to Houston to get better. Still lives. Weirdly enough, yes. Though she's no longer in politics, if I hear correctly. And that is a happy as hell bird, isn't it? I'm not allowed to shoot him, so I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Steve, I agree. Tell a woman, don't do it. Lord help you when she decides that she's going to anyways. Of course, there's an old statement. The most for sure way to make sure that something happens is tell enough men in Texas that it can't be done. Somebody told enough men in Texas that it couldn't be done getting to the moon. About to be smoking. About to be smoking some Squadron Leader. And yes, I'm keeping it in that 10 because in Houston it's so humid it's not drying out. I know a lot of other people are going like, oh my God, you're still smoking it out of the 10? You got to put it in a jar. It's going to dry out. Not here, babe. No. I don't worry about that crappy seal or nothing. Will not dry out. Not happening. Oh, in a cup. Just because. Helps if I put a little fluid in that Zippo every now and then. I've got it back. Just in case Mr. Scripto shows up, you let him know. He made a guest appearance already. Howdy, Ron. Great to see you, sir. So, as I was saying, the hospitals here in Houston, they kept telling experts that were telling them, you need underwater pumps or submergible pumps. Yornik, howdy, sir. And there's Mr. Scripto. Hey, just by weird chance, I mentioned his name, and there he is. But he saw it. by the way, howdy to everybody who's in, including the lurkers. Phil from Briar Report, if you're there, howdy. I know you'll pick on me later for something. It's fine. And so these hospitals in Houston were telling experts, it's never going to flood like that in Houston. It never has before. It's not going to now. Well, they built these sub-basements down 4, 5, and 6 stories. And that's where they put all the mechanical rooms, electrical, all the lifting equipment for the elevators. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And people were telling them, you got to put bulkhead doors so that they could stop the flooding if it ever starts. And there's also tunnels between all the hospitals. I mean, all of them. There's a whole subterranean Swiss cheese of stuff here in the Houston area, which is bad because our groundwater is only about 10 inches below the surface. So they're having to fight flooding anyways. But they didn't have the equipment set up so that if it really, really started flooding, that it would still operate. No bulkhead doors. No submersible pumps. Equipment all underground. Allison hits. It floods. People died.
Elevators went to the ground?
Elevators were set up to go all the way to the bottom if power shut off. People in elevators during a flood were going down into flooded chambers that were 4, 5, and 6 stories deep. It happened. Black eye for Houston. Oh yeah. There's a lot of executives that took it square up the ass in the lawsuits. And if y'all think that I'm being bad mouthed or something like that, I'm sorry, but some of those lawsuits are still happening. I mean, yeah. Simplex, I've got the answer. You either place it against the wall or you build the wall on top of it. Either one will work. And make sure it's a good thick wall, because if it's a thin little paper wall like you'd find in some of those Japanese pagodas, sorry, but I'm going to still jump right over it. So yeah, it does rain like that, and yeah, first time that it happens, people lose their lives. Yeah, I'm happy to report that after Allison, Houston changed a lot of things about their rules and regulations. When they finally finished pumping all of the basements clean and dry, every hospital moved their mechanical floor up to like the 6th floor. Well, it's not going to flood up on the 6th floor, damn it. Well, at least not for
a while.
Not for a few millennia. And well, let's just say that people won't be living here by the time it comes to water up on the 6th floor of Houston hospitals. Nobody's going to be living here then, so it won't really matter. All elevators now on a power outage stop on the first floor or the nominal ground floor, but none are allowed to go below street level. So if during a power outage an elevator is going down and it stops, it's at its lowest possible level because the locks automatically pop open. It can only fall to that level, and it is above street level. That is a Houston standard. I don't know about anywhere else in the country, but that's a Houston standard. It will stop at street level. So if water's 6 inches deep, that means it's at least that deep in the street. At least when you come out of the elevator, you should still be dry. Yornik, that's probably very true. And being that most of the fresh water in the world is locked into a lake somewhere in Russia, there's a good chunk of fresh water that's locked into a lake in Russia. Of course, you can't get to it. Frozen solid most of the year. Or maybe it's that one that's down in a canyon. Well, cavern. Hey, what do I know? All I can tell you is when it's raining, it's raining. And I hope to never see it raining so bad as I've seen it more than twice in my life. I don't need to see anything raining like that. I believe that might be what it is, Yornik. Baikal? B-A-I-K-A-L Lake. I'm betting that it's spelled differently in Cyrillic. Remember, I read weird stuff all the time. I don't know. I get to thinking, and then I gotta start reading and doing research on things. If the day after the day before yesterday. Okay, so if the day after the day before yesterday. So if today was Monday and the day before the day after tomorrow is Wednesday. Well, you've already claimed that it's Monday. It could be midnight, then it's Monday and Tuesday at the same time for a nanosecond. Steve, I firmly agree. I don't go anywhere without something, at least. Oh, Baikal is actually accessible. Okay, fishing's not good lately, but it used to be pretty good. Okay. Oh, howdy, Mark and Mike. Glad both of y'all could jump in. Mark, I'm glad that Tobacco Pipes International is again a whole channel. Kentucky Fire cured from Drew Estates. Really not my favorite of the Drew Estates lineup because it tastes like charcoal. But there's a whole lot of people that like it. If it didn't taste like charcoal, I'd love the damn thing. But it tastes like charcoal. Oh, they removed all your videos. It would figure. Yeah, Drew Estates makes good stuff. Really, Yornik? June 1st was apparently World No Tobacco Day. I celebrated it by selling cigars and smoking them while at work. Oh, it was great. Best job in the world. Sit back, smoke cigars, and sell some. Getting paid to smoke cigars. How horrible is that? This squadron leader is good, but I can't keep it lit. Mostly because it starts off soggy. Welcome to Houston. Now, see, I'll tell you just as truthfully as I can. There is nothing wrong with the Kentucky Fire Cured. But you're going to find it really hard for me to promote something that tastes like charcoal. I don't know, Horatio. There's a lot of things that have the best Nicaraguan leaf. But if I have to say the best Nicaraguan leaf, that's got to be Plasencia. Being that they have the only farm that's on Lake Nicaragua. In between the two specific volcanoes where only one specific leaf is grown, and it is the hardest leaf to get. And it's also one of the best tasting. Damn little flies are out all over the place. That's because Squadron Leader tastes so good. Smells so good. They want some too. Just water, sorry. No big deal, Horatio. But I mean, if I if I have to look at where the best tobacco in Nicaragua comes from, I just, And Mark, I'd be kind of disappointed if you weren't still restoring pipes and making tampers and producing X221. By the way, that's some good stuff. If y'all haven't seen what we're talking about, you need to talk to Mark about getting you some. It's a kind of a waxing compound for your pipes in between when you can take it to the buffing wheel. It works great. No, I save the pure grain alcohol for when I'm by myself. I don't go pure grain alcohol when I'm trying to be live with people, because I might get a little bit belligerent. Might run all y'all off. I have. Sorry, Horatio. Sorry. Yes, I have. And actually, almost everybody, unless they have only smoked Padron or LFD, or they've never smoked a cigar ever, everybody's had Plasencia, because Plasencia has been supplying cigar tobacco for years. Right now they still supply 65% of all the cigar tobacco worldwide. Every company not named Padron or La Flor Dominicana uses Plasencia. All of them. Yes, even that brand you were just thinking of. That other one too. Yep, even those cheap brands. They might only be using the worst leaf, but they are just that damn good at it. So oh, Patrick, you're gonna be happy. Trust me on that one. It wasn't that many Scoville. It was only 9 million Scoville. And no, Plasencia does not contain placenta. Come on now, it's just tobacco. For any of y'all Dougists out there. That's not with an E, but an A. It's pronounced Joya de Nicaragua, but there is an A on that, not an E. No big deal, Patrick. Just if you're ever trying to look for it online, it helps to have that spelling correct. And yes, it definitely includes Joya de Nicaragua, which is made by Drew Estates, in fact. In fact, Drew Estates makes a lot of cigars people don't actually attribute to them. Gotta remember, that acid lineup is also theirs. not a problem. Well, great to see you, sir. I understand that, if you're at work, you can't hang out. I don't mind that at all. Anybody who does mind, well, they don't have a job, obviously. Uh-oh. Sounds like Horatio is using the European term of pissed. And that fly that was just on me right over here, don't worry, I'm going to get that bastard sooner or later. Oh yeah, Drew Estates makes a whole lot of cigars that people don't give them credit for. You know those fat bottom Bettys that a certain guy on Tuesday happens to like? Made by Deadwood, also owned by Drew Estates. Nope, I wouldn't know nothing about that. Hey, if they sit still enough, I'm gonna get them if I can. I might mess this hat all to hell in back, but I can wash the hat. Oh, well, yeah, AJ Fernandez makes sticks for everybody. You'd be surprised how many labels are all under his name. Of course, realistically, the master blenders of cigars, the true masters, they're always getting contacted by the other big names to do a joint conglomeration. Let's see if we can't make a better cigar. I need one of those salt guns. Bug assault. Howdy, Cedric. Great to see you, sir. Of course, I'm probably going to end up shooting the hell out of myself because these bugs are landing on me just as much as they're landing everywhere else. Reason us old country kids wear a hat. Half the time it's just to swat flies. The other half the time is to keep sweat out of our eyes or sun out of our eyes. A bunch of kids now wear the damn thing backwards and their sunglasses on the back side of the hat too, and they still have to end up going, I can't see because it's too sunny. They just turn the hat around and put the sunglasses on. It'd have been better. No, that doesn't look cool. Got all the equipment and not enough brains to use it. Oh, Yornik, you want to see mosquitoes? Come on down to Houston. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We breed them half as big as sparrows up here. Half the time you see one buzzing by, it's got stuff like DC-3, C-130. They come complete with lights and tail markings around here, just because. Wait, my son will disagree. I'm wondering what my son will disagree with. Howdy, Martin. Great to see you, sir. Steve, I'm going to tell you, good luck with the Gurkha Extreme. It's a coin toss whether you're going to like them or not. Howdy, Odie. Great to see you, sir. Unfortunately, nothing that you're interested in. I know, because there's a little bit of pipe tobacco and no bourbon at all. I'm sorry. Martin, I guess you could save those 2 big flies until the boy becomes a man. But busting in on him when he's with that first girl to get him to smoke a cigar, I mean, that might not work. Then again, it might have the exact desired effect. But yeah, if you keep them in perfect condition, they, 70 degrees and 70% humidity, they'll age up quite nicely. What, he's 8 now, so you've got 10 years if you go by what I consider adult standards, or 13 years if you go by what the state probably says is adult standards. Yeah, you could. Well, Martin, now that you know that they're out there, you could probably buy a box. It would have been nice to see my name in the highlight reel of the Over a Pipe show before season 3 ended. But no, season 3 is dead and gone. Well, Yornik, actually, it's because they like to compete with Georgia, and they say stuff like, "You got a sweet mouth." Well, Martin, I would suggest smoking it first and seeing if you actually like it. And then you might want to consider smoking the late hour and seeing which one you like better for saving around for whenever McFly becomes a man. Just saying. Mark, that's very true for a lot of people, but I could never get a cigar down to 60% humidity in Houston. I could leave it outside for 5 days and still wouldn't get there. Hey, Odie, so did Johnny Depp. Wait, too soon? Steve, that very well might be true about the bill poking him in the belly. I mean, just saying. Well, Martin, if you don't like the cigar, it's pretty easy. If you do like the cigar, then it's even easier to pull the trigger and make that decision. Oh yeah, Russell's Reserve. It's my kind of thing right there. Oh yes, it is made by Wild Turkey. Because it's Jimmy Russell's. And I forgot what his son's name is. And I don't know why I forgot his son's name, but I'm going to get more than one of them. Hell, Barton, by the time your son gets to be 18 or 21, now I can't. I am not going to try and tell you at what age you're allowed to smoke a cigar with your own children. And I think it is bullshit if the state has the ability to say, you can't say at 18 that you could go off and fight wars, but you're still 3 ways from drinking a beer or smoking a cigar. You know, to me, that sounds like some bullshit. If you're old enough to be trusted with an M16 out there in the front lines, you're old enough to be trusted with a beer and a cigar. Just the way it is. My opinion. Not actually law. Law around here in Texas, you got to be 21 to have alcohol, and you have to be 21 to have any kind of tobacco. Horatio, I'm right there with you on that statement. And Martin, she could still drink you under the table. We've seen proof. There is a certain New Year's Eve show that might live in infamy. I mean, okay, so let's say that we don't decrease the age from 21 down to 18 for the United States. Let's say that we're going to let that slide. Could they at least put a provision into the law that says if you are active military duty and you are out there putting your life on the line for all of the rest of America, that you could enjoy a beer and you could enjoy a cigar? Could they at least put that into the bill? Or do they have to big brother us into no more alcohol and no more tobacco by raising the age every couple of years? So that eventually you got to be 55 years old before you can enjoy any kind of alcohol and any kind of tobacco. Because that's where it's going. What they're saying is they don't trust kids that are old enough to be trained to be a killer for the military to have enough sense to drink a few beers and call it good, or to smoke a cigar or smoke a pipe and call it good. Martin, if they made everything you got to be 21, drinking, driving, smoking, military, and voting, then there would be a whole lot of young people that would blow a freaking gasket. And remember, there's kids out there that are 10 and 11 years old that think that they should drop the age for voting down to 10 and 11 years old because they think they know enough to... Hell, there's senators out there that are saying, oh, we should do that. We should lower that age of voting down. Well, the first thing that those kids should vote on is dropping that age of tobacco and alcohol back down. They should vote on it. They should force the vote on it. And Mark, there are so many things that the government allows to happen. Hey, you want to see that everybody is out there getting diabetes. Diabetes medicine runs crazy, right? More people are coming down with diabetes every year, right? We've seen this to be happening. But read the labels on what you're buying at the stores, and you will see corn syrup is in everything. It's ridiculous. They just add it to everything. It's literally everywhere. High fructose corn syrup, regular corn syrup, and sugar. It's in everything. You can't taste it half the time. You don't even know it's there. But read the labels. Go to your own pantry, read the labels. You'll be like, what the hell? No wonder America's the fattest place on the planet. You go places in Europe, they do not allow that stuff. And their levels of diabetes are a lot lower. But guess who? Guess who's got their hand in the FDA pocket? That's right. Big medicine. Because guess what makes more money than COVID vaccines? And if you guessed diabetes medicine, oh yeah, you're right. Because, well, not everybody has to be getting a vaccine for COVID. Those people with diabetes, they gotta have that. They have to have those meds. And every couple of years they come out with a newer, better one. Newer, better. Who's in bed with who? And the FDA still allows everybody to dump as much corn syrup in as they damn well want to. Go look at a box of cornflakes. I dare you. Oh wait, it says cornflakes, right? Let me see. Let's look for something that you would swear doesn't have any corn syrup. Go find your favorite tomato sauce that you would put on pasta. Chances are you've been eating ragu or half a dozen others for years. Now turn the bottle around and look at that label. Oh, about the third ingredient down, you're going to see high fructose corn syrup. Well, Yornik, it's not so much that I dislike either the FDA or the WHO. It just happens that there's a lot of people out there that believe blindly in what the government says without looking at how are they making their money. Oh yeah, no sugar added. But we're going to load it down with corn syrup until you can barely float it past the person with diabetes without them going into a diabetic coma. That's with the barrel closed. Hey, you don't have to believe me. My wife and I went on what's known as the Sugar Busters diet a few years back. It's actually not really a diet. After you do all the work of figuring out that you need to read the labels of everything before you put it in your cart, before you take it home, before you use it, once you do that work, then it gets easy. But until you do that work, it seems like, oh my God, I can't eat anything. Mark, I don't know why you can't, but I'll have to go over and put it up so that you can. Let's go ahead and get you over there so that we can let you post a link. I hopefully am still on. We'll go to YouTube. We're going to hear me double speaking. Here we go. I'm going to be like the lawyer. I'm going to be like the lawyer. Let's see here. We are going to be like the lawyer. Add moderator. Tobacco Pipes International is now. I'm going to be like the lawyer. Let's see here. Tobacco Pipes International. I'm going to be like the lawyer. Let's see here. Bounce off of that. And okay, you should be able to post a link. Go ahead, Mark. Oh, yeah. Steve, you don't have to tell me. Everybody's new wonder drug is probably some other wonder drug just repackaged and renamed. But if you find the generic version, it's probably the same generic version that's been around for 50 years with one extra food coloring added so that it's a different formula. Now in cherry flavor. That way we can hold off the generics for another 50 years. Big medicine is big bucks. That's why they will never cure cancer, because curing cancer is going to drive them out of business. Whereas treating cancer is perfectly all right. Mark, as you already know, I was not going to go get the jab anyways. I stated my reasons for nowhere in my life am I ever going to be guinea pigging for the government again. I stated that a long time ago. And then I've also stated, look, with psoriasis, which is a overactive immune system, the only thing that the COVID-19 jab was going to do to me was turn me into Typhoid Mary. I could be spreading it around. I could end up with it. I wouldn't even know it. I could just drop it all over my house, where I've got 2 people with diabetes whose doctor told them do not get it because you have had bad reactions to some of the parts that are in that damn vaccine anyways. So it's detrimental for my wife and my mother-in-law to get it, so they can't get it. And if I'm the one that's going out of the house and going places, I would want to at least know, oh look, I'm feeling sick. I need to isolate from them and clean religious fanatically. But if I had gotten the vaccine, there's no way in hell I would know. The next thing I know, I'm sitting there with my wife and my mother-in-law dead, and it's my fault. I wasn't going to go through that. Interestingly enough, a cousin of mine died about a month ago. I don't get to go to her funeral. Did not get to go to her funeral. All because I can't risk dragging something from here up to the Dallas area, and I can't risk dragging something from the Dallas area back down to here. Plus, having a job, I wasn't going to be able to realistically let my job know, hey, I got to go way up to the north side of Dallas for a funeral. I'll be back in a couple of days. And, oh yeah, by the way, y'all have a 7-day hold-off period before you come back to work, just to make sure nobody's starting to feel a little feverish or nothing. I can understand the 7-day hold-off period. Of course, the coronavirus, if you look it up in the American Medical Association's book, coronavirus is related to the common cold. And they've known about it since 1960, and they still haven't had a cure for it. Nothing I've said here is false. If you feel like you should get the vaccine, what they call a vaccine, it's actually a therapeutic, but if you feel like you should get the vaccine, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. I won't talk bad about you. I won't disparage you from getting the vaccine. If you feel like it is in your best interest to go do something like that, have at it. But I've let you know what my reasons for not getting it are. You got to make those decisions for yourself, not on me. Mark, be well. Prayers for your mom. Well, Martin, I'm going to say it like this. Greg Abbott announced that Texas is a firearms sanctuary state, so they will not be going with gun control other than use both hands. Kid that went and shot stuff in Uvalde? Let me see here. Let me make sure of this. Got one. That kid that shot things in Uvalde, people in Uvalde, one of the teachers left one of the back doors open. So, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to seriously get hammered by that one. Now, Uvalde's a really small town. I feel kind of bad for what happened in Uvalde. But I'm not turning my guns in over it. If they turn ownership of firearms into an illegal activity, well, then I'm being turned into an outlaw by my own government. At that point, they have actually decided to become enemies to the Constitution of the United States according to the legal definition. At that point, they're forcing me to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I don't like being forced into things. But let's just say that they'd have to come and get mine. And they know what it'll take. And they don't like that thought. Steve, you ain't lying there. There's over 20,000 gun laws on the books. If common sense gun laws worked, what you're telling me is that the 20,000 gun laws on the books don't make any sense at all. At Yordic, there's a lot of people out there that don't much care for Biden. I don't much care for Biden. Quite honestly, I didn't much care for Trump either. Different ways I didn't care about each of them. God, if I think back, there's certain ways I didn't care about none of the presidents of the United States. But each and every one of them, I always hope that they do real well. Because when they do real well, America tends to do well. When America's doing well, that means I'm doing well. That's like sitting in first class and hoping that the airline pilot that's flying your jet decides to have a heart attack and crash. I would never do such a thing. But I definitely wouldn't want Kamala Harris as commander-in-chief. That woman scares me. Well, Trump bucked the system. And a system that's that well established, if you buck it hard enough and long enough, it'll buck you. It's kind of like riding a bull. If you don't believe me about riding a bull, ask Steve. Ain't been a bull that's never been rode. Ain't been a cowboy that's never been throwed. Just saying. Actually, there are a few bulls that were never rode. At least professionally. Maybe after they retired. I've already killed 2 or 3 of you. Keep coming. Keep coming. Missed him. Sometimes I feel like Mickey Mouse. I killed 3 with 1 blow. He killed 3 giants with 1 blow. We'll turn him into the giant slayer. Old cartoon. You might have seen it, you might not have. With a fairly decent imitation of Mickey Mouse. By the way, earlier today, and I do mean earlier, man, I woke up, I had this thought rolling around in my head. And I had to share it with Robert. Another one that bites the dust. No, not necessarily that song, but I know right now Robert's working on another song. If not right now, it's because he's not actively working on it right now. But earlier today, he started on one. But Robert does such a good job with those music videos that he's been putting out. I mean, I know there might be people out there with better singing voices, but putting it all together, all the talent, editing it so that he can do all the singing parts and all of that. What was it, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, when I said that he should do Latakia to My Maria by Brooks and Dunn, and less than a week later he threw it out there, and there it was. You can look it up. It's awesome. But if you look up just before he put that song out, if you go to the tailgate just previous to that, I mentioned it on that tailgate. Just a mention. I didn't go really far with it. Just a mention. And he thought it was a good enough idea that he decided to put it out there. Tell you what, I was laughing. I was laughing so hard. Every last one of them that he's put out, I've been laughing. Oh, they're hilarious. They're funny. Sometimes I'm going back and still watching it. All right. Yornik, you take care. Stay safe where you are. And hopefully we will see you again soon. Oh yes, Horatio. Robert is definitely got some creativeness. Oh, Ron, all right. So here's curiosity for you. You go up to a bank, you see 3 and 4 armed security guards standing around. You go to a school, you'd be lucky if you even see one. And they might be there, but they might be hidden. But still, it's a much bigger area than a bank. You go to a hospital, you probably don't see any, unless it's currently has a police officer or some notorious criminal in there for medical reasons. How come the money gets so much protection, but our greatest asset, the next generation, and those who are sick and need the protection, don't get hardly any? Just give that a thought. Howdy, Todd. Great to see you, sir. I know, it's kind of a mystery to me. And yes, I am looking forward to Robert's next chat. And yes, I do miss seeing all of y'all on all those days that I used to be able to join in and see all of your shows. Is that I blew your mind there, Horatio? I could see that, yeah. Howdy, Steph. Great to see you, ma'am. Hopefully Skip is there as well and that he's doing well. Really like it when the YTPC is doing well. I'm missing Saturday shows because I'm at work. I'm missing Sunday shows because I'm at work. Monday and Tuesday shows I'm missing because I'm at work. Or I'm just getting home from work and need to eat. And then there's something I've got to do before I could really sit down and relax. So howdy, Peter Piper. Great to see you. Steph, does that mean you're going live tonight or you're going live soon, as in being that there's plenty of days to work on that? Oh, and thanks for noticing I'm smoking a pipe. Yes, I am trying to smoke pipes a lot more now. Oh, Skip's on a boat. I'm sorry, he's not there with you. But he's making money. It's always a good thing, especially with the economy kind of tanking. Well, the CEO of Chase Morgan said he saw storm clouds of a recession coming on, and then he recanted that statement by saying, yeah, it's a little bit more like a hurricane now. Major storm. Let me think. That's not a good thing. For CEOs of banks to say it's starting to look really bad all across the board financially, that's just not a good thing. And I don't have a problem saying it. I think all businesses that have a certain luxury about them are going to be feeling it. So like new cars and cigars and various other businesses are probably kind of taking it in the shorts right now. Oh, Ron, that's funny, but yeah, there's some old cats there that you really don't want to mess with. He went to go see Guar for his senior trip. All right, that's cool. But he's now headed to New Mexico. Well, good luck to you, Arlo, wherever you are. And come back safe. It's nice to hang out with you too, Peter. It's great seeing all of y'all, really. I absolutely enjoy seeing y'all's videos. Now, a lot of times I'm having to watch it afterwards. I don't always comment when I'm watching a replay of things. But I try to watch as many as I can. I'm kind of like Phil on that. Sometimes I just don't have enough time to watch the whole replay. I don't know how Phil gets to as many of the replays or first plays as he does. He puts a lot of information out on that Briar report of his. Loading up a pipe. I've been waiting all week to smoke. Repurposed tin. Right now I believe it's full of Lord Nelson. Not a repurposed pipe, but it was sent to me. Still greatly appreciative, Steve and Miss Kathy. Uh-oh, Guar and Necrogoblicon. I probably mispronounced it, even whether you spelled it right or not, it doesn't matter. New girlfriend and some buddies. Always fun. That's right, Patrick. Vegas Pipe Show, October 21st through 23rd. I probably won't be able to make it to that. Well, Holly and I both started new jobs this year. Me going back to an old job that I had before, and her starting a new job. We just don't have enough senioritis tendencies yet so that we can just say, hey, we're going away for a weekend. Talk to y'all later. I was working on Memorial Day because I was the newest guy on the shop and it was the first of those weekends. I do get 4th of July off though. And I might or might not get Labor Day off, but if I'm working on Labor Day, Then I guess Veterans Day or Memorial Day, I won't be working on Thanksgiving Day. And I won't be working on Christmas Day. But the shop's closed, so nobody's working on those days. By the way, Father's Day is coming up soon. Y'all make sure to, if you've got a father that smokes, or if you need to start hinting at kids to consider their own father, hint at them early that there's always a nice way to get something nice for Dad. The plane! The plane! Steph, but you knew it was coming, sweetie. I know. Believe me. Hey, look, I was a nervous wreck. First time my son deployed overseas. I sent him a message on Facebook Messenger quite often. Hey. And quite honestly, I wouldn't be doing some... Oh, smoking some Blue 10 H. Upman's. Is it a light Blue 10 or a dark Blue 10? I do know the H. Upman line. I know it quite well. I actually quite enjoy it. If it's a light blue, it is made by A.J. Fernandez. Very tasty. The darker blue one, though, which might also be made by A.J. Fernandez, a little bit peppery. Okay, not peppery for me. I'm sorry. Don't be excited when I say something's a bit peppery. We're not talking 9 million Scovilles peppery, but yeah. All right, Peter, you take care. Have a good time while you're out. Be safe. Would love to see you back here soon and often. Matthew, I mean, that's really what to do, especially when you got young kids. You got young kids, they ain't getting you nothing. And your wife probably doesn't know. Steph, I'm almost wondering which songs y'all sang. But I know if you just started naming songs, I'd be like, never heard of it. I've probably heard it 1,000 times and just don't know the name. Horrible with names of songs. Ah, this pipe's such a good smoker. It's rough being tired. Why'd I ever quit working for 2 years? Now I'm always tired. All right, Matthew, you take care. We'll see you at Roberts. And you're right. Here in about 30 minutes. What? You mean Steph knows how to jump up, and get down? Nope, never heard of it. Never. Not even once. Been working a lot of hours. That's a good thing, though. That is a MUXIANG. And the number on the side of it is 2033HT. And there's the upside down running W. It's an M. Gotta be careful with them redhead stuff. Trust me, I know. Got an ex-wife to prove it. Not a problem, Horatio. You take care. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Good Lord, Steph. Don't play you as if your name was Sega. Hell no, because you come out probably like an Xbox. Gotta remember, them Texas women don't need a man. They can have guns on their own. Half of them don't need guns. I've seen some women back in the day I would have been afraid to fight. Yeah, I mean some real scrappers. But looked good too. That's how you know a person's a damn good fighter. When they're still pretty and they're a fighter, it's because they don't get hit. Well, Steph, you're just talking about a shot glass rack, right? A 6-shooter? Hold 6 shot glasses? And I know that boating accident that happened there in El Paso, it was horrible. Right there on the north side of town. I don't worry about boating accidents. They know where I live. They know what I got. They know they don't want no part of it. Because, well, Texas is a gun sanctuary state, just saying. They ain't coming to take your guns in Texas. They might show up at your door and say, hey, we need a little help. Would you like to bring out your guns and do a little shooting? Sublime. Well, Steph, it's okay to get sublime as long as you don't practice Santeria and you ain't got no crystal ball. Just saying. So what is coming up this weekend and tomorrow? By the way, I don't believe that Martin will be on from Over a Pipe this weekend, as in Friday evening. So somebody's going to have to do something. I'm going to be bored as hell. One of y'all is going to have to entertain me. Todd, that would be a class I would take. Steph, I think everybody here has probably spent their full $1,000,000. Whether they had it or not. I don't know. In my lifetime, I might have spent $1,000,000 by now. Of course, I don't want for a bunch of stuff, so maybe not. Y'all all remember Trump, the big fluffy cat? He's got a lion haircut. Any second now, he's going to turn and start biting me. Look at those big blue eyes. Oh. All right, I feel him getting squirmy. Every Thursday in May, I take a different cat to the vet, get them all checked out, and Trump, of course, gets his annual haircut so that he can survive the summers here in south of Houston. Of course, if you had a big woolly fur coat and it got to May, you'd be begging somebody to shave that sucker too. I promise you. I mean, it's almost cruel to have a long-haired animal here in the Houston area. That's right, Cane Rod, Virtual Pipe Club, I'm Just Chris. All Briared Up still does shows, if I remember correctly. Chad goes live from time to time. Phil Rivera does a nice live. I can't catch everybody when they go live. And YouTube is still notoriously not telling me when anybody goes live. Last Saturday, I was hoping to catch Steve and Miss Kathy, but I was already at work when their show came on, and it was busy immediately. By the time I got slowed down from that first initial rush of customers, well, I remember a lot of people thought, oh, 4-day weekend. They didn't think, hey, this is Memorial Day weekend when we should be sharing memories of those that died in protection of American freedom. And it started off as Decoration Day from back in the Civil War when people would come out and decorate Civil War grave sites. Then it became Memorial Day. Now, Labor Day, you want to celebrate just having a 4-day weekend? That's the one to do. By the way, 4th of July is coming up for those of us who are Americans, and that will also be on a Monday. So, all the way across the summer, it's always going to be on a Monday. Something to look forward to, isn't it? Long weekends? Don't worry, I'll probably be at work. Okay, probably not on 4th of July, but that's because Holly would kill me if I work every damn long weekend out there. She actually wants to do a little bit of something with me every once in a while. Just saying. Patrick, if YouTube liked me ever, they wouldn't have sent me so many nasty grams. Oh, your channel is not the kind of channel that we could ever monetize because you say the truth and you call it the way you see it, and you don't have a problem using cuss words, and you put that whole thing right there on the front description of your video, how this channel is not for anybody under the age of 21 who is easily offended, and I'm not your parent. And they wouldn't have taken down so many of my videos, which are all tailgates. The last one they took down was because I discussed ivermectin. I didn't counsel for or against it. Just discussed it. And as always, I said, look, if you want to get the vaccine, get the vaccine. If you don't want to get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. Not my fault if you have issues. YouTube took it down because I somehow broke their rules. And then they released it when they figured out that actually I hadn't broken their rules. It was just their... Okay, we'll say it's an algorithm. Their computer flagged it, so they immediately dropped the cloak of invisibility and silence upon it. And when I discussed it with them, they decided that I hadn't actually broken their community guidelines, and they released the video and my channel. But I thought I was taking a week off. But YouTube liked me? No, not really. Google liking me? I don't know, probably not. ABC Incorporated, which owns Google, which owns YouTube, liking me? No, probably not. It's probably because I got the best looking girl out of Michigan. She's here in Texas. By the way, if you're wondering why that means anything, the two guys who are the top dogs at ABC Incorporated, which owns Google, which owns YouTube. One of them's from Michigan, the other one's from Russia. You can look it up. It's public record, no big deal. Oh, and he's like my age. So, sorry if I've pissed off the CEO of the CEO of the CEO in some way that he somehow doesn't like me. I wonder how I will live with it. Fake tears, fake tears. Crow, cow, whatever. I mean, they might be vegetarians for all I know. They don't like guns. They don't like people who are okay with defending themselves and other people. They do not like it if you understand what's actually going on in the world. They want everybody to toe a certain line. Well, look. Even if I disagree with somebody, I promise I don't disagree with them so much that I've got to kick them out or whatever. They might have a valid point. I might want to hear what they have to say. I am not the kind of guy who wants a million sycophants that say exactly what I say and believe exactly what I believe. No. I believe every viewpoint should be looked at. Empirical data says that everybody's going to have a different viewpoint. Just being honest. There's people whose channels I disagree with their set of beliefs or whatever, but I will still listen to them. And I'll give it some thought. I might not comment on their channels, but I will still listen to them. I will still give their statements some thought. I would hope YouTube doesn't drag them out of here either. Of course, I believe in the freedom of speech. As long as you're not trying to incite people to get all kind of crazy. And if people don't like what I've got to say, you know what? They can always swipe the thumbs down and go with swipe left or right or whatever and hit that next channel, and they can hit the end button right up there and be done with it. I'm not forcing anybody to be here. No, Patrick, then the other problem is if the vegetable jumped up and bit them, then they would have to put them back in the wheelchair. Otherwise, they look bad. I know that was kind of wrong of me to say. I said it that way on purpose. Yes, I say rude and uncouth things. I get away with it because nobody's here to listen to me anyways. Can't really say that. Y'all are here. But in the grand scheme of things, what? I don't even have 300 followers. What's the point in trying to block me and make something out of it? Steve, see, I've had bosses that couldn't stand me, but they kept me around because I never had a problem getting the job done, and I also never had the problem looking at things from a lot of different angles. When I was an electrician, there was a time where he said, okay, well, we got to run this pipe over here and over here and over here and over here. And there must have been 27 different bends that we were going to have to make. And we're going to have to put all these fittings in and all this other stuff. And I looked at it slightly different, and I says, you know, if we just kick this out and run it right down this beam, then we get right over there, we make a little 90 with a dog leg in it and drop it down that beam, and we're right where we need to be. Less than 360 degrees of bend in the pipe, no fittings, let's do that. He looked at it and said, let's do that. He still hated me, but he at least respected me enough to say, well, you know, different viewpoint. One's going to be much harder and one's going to be much easier. Let's just go with the easier one. And of course, I respected him enough to say, hey, if your plan is better than mine, let's go with yours. I didn't hate him. Oh, Patrick, that's for damn sure. If I'm not speaking my mind, it's probably because something's wrong. at that point, watch for me blinking in Morse code, because I'll be telling everybody this whole statement is a lie. Blink, 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 blink. There was actually a guy in Vietnam that was a POW that did that. In his video, he was blinking Morse code left, right, and sideways. Piper on the 45. Howdy, sir. Great to see you in. So we only got a couple minutes left until Robert goes live. As per always, I want y'all to remember, take a little bit of time. Try to visit some channels. You know, spread around a little of that YTPC love. Y'all have all done an awesome job of it anyways. What's there to say? I mean, oh, nice. You're just got home from work in time to go to Robert's show. Don't worry, it's always a good show. And if anybody sees him go live, please let me know. I hit the bells, I hit the notification buttons. I ask YouTube to do all of that stuff for me. They don't do it. All my favorite channels, I might get 2 notifications a week. And it's normally on days when I'm so busy that I can't do anything about it. Is what it is. Really ain't nothing you can do about it, right? I know there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, goodness. It's hot out here tonight. I'd say what I was sweating like, but it'll probably piss somebody off. Bet you I could make a crude joke about it. I'm going to try not to this time. So where are we at? 1 minute till, huh? Yeah, 45. I haven't seen a notification on Chad in months. The only times I've been able to catch his show is when just by chance I'm just glancing through and I'll hit the subscription button and Chad's show every once in a while pops up with him and the little live notification. I immediately tap on that button, fingernail, try to get on Chad's show. Sometimes it's quite literally just long enough to say, howdy y'all. And quite often it is while I'm at work. But like I said, I'm working a bunch of hours. Not quite 40 hours a week, but pretty close. But I'm good at my job. That's what they hired me to do. Work my butt off. Make it right. Wait, Robert left a message. No live tonight. Oh. Well, dang. Hopefully he's doing well. Hopefully it's not storming or there's no sickness. Maybe he's just tired. I know he was up at about 8 o'clock in the morning my time. I know because I left him an email. Oh, today is his 24th anniversary. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I'd be going out with my wife too if it was my anniversary. Oh, by the way, that's the 6th. Actually, no, it's not the 6th. It's the 4th. Okay, it's only engaged. Let me think about this here. I could have held off 2 more days and we could have gotten engaged on 06/06/06. But that might have been just a little bit too much. Thanks for the reminder. That's going to be helpful here in about 2 days. I better show up with flowers. I don't need to get my legs broke. You know, I think that might have been where he was going tonight. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. But speaking of going, not because I'm trying to get out of here any faster, but I do have some things left to do today. And if I don't want Mama to be mad at me and trying to break my legs, then I might need to get on out of here. She won't break my legs, she'd just shoot me, I know. Howdy again, Martin. Glad you could get in here while I'm trying to sign off. But anyways, alright. We'll just make this simple then. Take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best you can with that. And as per always, remember, now who are you going to listen to? I would say put on the Robert Leslie music channel and see what comes up. And as per always, y'all remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I hope to see y'all soon. If I didn't have some more stuff to do before I go to sleep tonight, I'd stay on here with you. Talk to y'all soon. Bye for now.